What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett podcast. Let me get some of my water. Got to talk for a little bit. Got to make sure the mouth is not dry. Once again, this is episode 80. Where we at? We're at 84 right now. 84. I had to check. Sorry about that. 84 on the Paul Pickett podcast. 16 more episodes. Going to do a big press release. And I'm going to run a nice little ad campaign as well for the 100th episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, sport events, and more, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast. I'm going to start doing things a little bit differently on my StreamYard pre-recorded. We're going to start doing the Paul's Power Picks with the picture pulled up to actually show you the Power Picks while I'm telling you the Power Picks and whatnot. Before we get started, don't forget that the audio version of this podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and much more. Also, this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. The online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, and your service. Check out Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Also, if you're a dog lover, you're a cat lover, you're an animal lover, you're an animal rights activist, and you like t-shirts and hoodies with dogs and cats on them, then check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. That's NEWLITTER.com. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out Dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future. Do your Dizzle. Dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice. Dizzle on ice. Before I get started on my topics and Paul's Power Picks, let me go with these scores. Philadelphia beat my Charlotte Hornets. Of course, Charlotte Hornets scored without the starting backcourt. This is another reason why I don't like this health and safety protocol BS, because teams that would win the game, we lost 110-106. We got LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier. We win that game. The Bulls lost to Cleveland. The Bulls were without DeRozan and a couple other players that are key players. They would have won that game. Washington beat Detroit, which they should beat Detroit. The Indiana Pacers beat the Knicks. And all due respect, New York City, but y'all start to come back down to earth. I don't know why people thought the Knicks were a legit playoff team. They got no real legit, superstar. You got no legit superstar player. They got an all-star. But they don't got no superstar. Julius Randle is an all-star, but he's nowhere near being a superstar. Miami beat Milwaukee, and Miami was shorthanded, so Milwaukee definitely shouldn't have lost that game. OKC beat Toronto by a point. Houston beat Brooklyn. Of course, when I saw this, first thing I said is, no way Kevin Durant is playing. That was the first thing I said. Rockets won a 7th straight, but the first thing I said was, no way Kevin Durant's playing. So when I go look at the box score, Kevin Durant didn't play. There's no way in hell Brooklyn loses to the Rockets with Kevin Durant playing. And Utah beat Minnesota. Denver Nuggets beat the Pelicans. Golden State beat Portland. And the Kings beat Orlando. And the Clippers beat Boston. Boston just lost back-to-back games to both LA teams. I mean, that's not good. That's really not good. Let me get into this, share this screen real quick. I'm going to give y'all Paul's Power Picks. We're going to go with basketball first. And here we go. Paul's Power Picks. Let's see if it pulls up. It ain't pulling up. Hold up. Y'all gotta excuse me. I am new to this. This is new to me. Alright. And Bam. There we go. Paul's power picks pulled up. And number one, I got the Suns. Number two, oh, hold on. Let me do it correct, like they do it on TV. Number one, the Phoenix Suns. Why? I mean, they look like the best team, man. That's why. They look like the most complete team. Number two, the Warriors. I mean, I don't think nobody thought the Warriors would be balling out like this without Clay. And yeah, they got Iguodala back, but they're not balling out like this because of Iguodala. It's Draymond's balling, Wiggins is doing his thing, uh, Curry is doing Curry like things, and then Jordan Poole and these other players are just really contributing. I think Jordan Poole's averaging 18, Wiggins averaged about 19. You know, you got a team with a player averaging 25 a game and then two guys averaging 18 or more. That's a pretty good team right there. That's two guys averaging almost 20. Number three, I got the Bulls, Chicago Bulls. Yeah, they lost, but they didn't. I mean, they had like their leading scorer was out. What do you expect? Number four, the Brooklyn Nets. Why? They got James Harden and Kevin Durant. You know. And number five, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks starting to get together. I mean, they're number three in the East right now. They were down there like at 9 and 10. Like Knicks still fell down to 11, which where they should be. They're coming back down to earth. Toronto, I mean, they've had injuries in and out. And it's, you got a young Scotty Barnes, Fred Van Fleet. He's not super old. Siakam is still young, even though he won a championship, but he's been hurt most of the season. And it could be good for them to get another good draft pick. But I think Toronto's going to get it together. Boston, I don't know, man. Atlanta, I mean, they're in the eighth seed right now. I think they'll start getting together. I don't think Atlanta is going to be lower than Cleveland, even though Cleveland could be a playoff team, especially if they had Sexton, as Sexton was saying. All right, so let's get into. Let's remove this one. Now we're going to go to the pause power picks for football. And y'all gotta bear with me. I'm gonna try to get a quicker way of doing this. This is my first time actually doing this, and from what I've seen, the way I gotta share an image like this is the screen share. So sharing my screen. All right, so here we got the pause power picks for the NFL, and let me make sure I got them all correct. All right, number one, I got the Packers. I mean, why? I mean, Packers have won crazy games without a bunch of starters. Packers are still doing Packer things. It's looking like this. This probably could be Aaron Rodgers' best last chance, and I could be wrong. Number two, the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, why? Do I need to say more? Arizona's balling out. They're complete. Defense is good. Offense can score. They got good receivers. They're running back. I mean, third year in the system with the coach. They're getting it together, man. What do we got? Number four, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Tom. I mean, defending champs. Tom Brady's probably going to win MVP. Has anybody won MVP at that age? No way. No way, no how. No way, no how nobody's won MVP at that age. I mean, stop it. Stop it. Number four, the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots just waxed. Well, they ain't really waxed Buffalo. I would say they waxed Buffalo. Even though the score was close, they waxed them, man. I mean, they just ran over them like a bulldozer. They just like, yo, we're going to run the ball every time. We're running the ball again. We're going to run the ball again and again and again. We're going to keep running and we're going to keep running and keep running. And you got to try to stop it. And if you can't stop it, what are we talking about here? And number five, Kansas City Chiefs. That's my top five: Packers, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Patriots, and Kansas City Chiefs. That's Paul's power picks. It really hasn't changed too much. Hopefully it'll change this week. I have to update that picture, but I'm trying to get it down packed to do the screen sharing and whatnot. But and I'm gonna be moving my office around today. Some of my longer Ethernet cord gets in here, so we're gonna try to move it around and make it easier for me to do things like this. You know, because I got my screen over to my left for for the pre-recorded stream, and then I got my TikTok over here right in front of me. You know, live because I go live on TikTok for every podcast that we pre-record for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then the audio version as well. You know, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Amazon, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and more. All right, I got two topics today. None of them are sports related. First topic I'm gonna get into is the media saying that Biden gets more negative coverage than Trump. Yo, that shit is so hilarious to me. I'm literally about to choke on those. I'm about to choke on these words. The media says Biden gets more negative coverage than Trump. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is a bold-faced lie. That is the biggest lie of the century. Every day, the media on the leftist media, was slaughtering Trump, calling him a racist, comparing him to Hitler. Every single day. Every single day they call Trump a racist. I ain't seen nowhere on the freaking media where they're calling Biden a racist every single day. Stop it. You know why he's being criticized? You know why he's getting negative coverage? Because he's not doing a good job. You want to get good coverage? Then do a good job. And all due respect, Biden is a prick and an asshole too. He's a prick and an asshole too. I mean, all due respect, this guy don't even hardly talk to the media compared to Trump. He won't even talk to the media compared to Trump. Yes, Trump was an asshole to the media, but it's the media. They're like both sides of the fence, right, left. There's lies being spewed, not by everybody, but on both sides of the fence. There's lies on the right side of the media, the far right media, they're spewing lies. The far left media, they're spewing lies. So there's lies every day. But this idea that the media should be nicer to Biden. Why? Because he's older? Because he's fragile? Because he can't even walk up the stairs correctly? Because he's shorting his pants while he's meeting the Pope? If anything, you should be in a freaking nursing home right now. If you're shorting your pants, you should be in a nursing home right now. You know, if you're shorting your pants because you're so old, you should be in a nursing home. You know, you can't even go to you can't even hold it before you go to the bathroom. You should be in a nursing home. Like, it's horseshit. Trump got it way worse than Biden. And the only thing Biden's being criticized is that he's doing a terrible job. He's doing an awful job. That ain't the only thing they were criticizing Trump about. They were calling him a racist, an asshole, a sexual predator. They would, man, stop it with this. Biden's getting it worse than Trump. That the negative media is going in more on him than Trump. No, what happened is the shoe is on the other foot now. Y'all don't like it when it happens to you now. Like, it's okay for you to just, slaughter somebody in the media. But as soon as you get slaughtered, oh, you don't like it. You don't like it. This is what we call double standards, hypocrites, double standards. Stop it. They still trying to freaking slaughter Trump in the media, and he's not even running for nothing right now. And let's see, they tried to say Trump colluded with Russia to win the election. Well, why is it that people that were associated with Hillary Clinton are the ones that are facing charges for colluding with the FBI for fabricating the story and making it up because it was all horseshit. It was bullshit. It was false. I don't see Trump people getting, you know, getting charges possibly faced against them because of the Trump supposedly colluded with Russia. No, what happened is they fabricated a story to try to muddy the waters to try to win the election, and it didn't work. And that's why Hillary Clinton pretty much couldn't cry and complain about losing the election so much. Like everybody said, well, Trump cried because saying that he, you know, actually won the election. Well, so did Hillary. She cried a little bit, and all due respect, her little muddy tactic, her fabrication, her false narrative didn't work. So stop it, man. Trump was getting slaughtered in the media way worse than Biden. You know, what it is now is that the left media is starting to realize Biden's doing a terrible job, and they're actually starting to go in on him as well. And they're going in on Kamala Harris, who was technically only vice president because people told Biden that he needed to have a woman and a woman of color. It's like what was that racist comment that Biden said to Charlemagne? If you don't vote for me, you're not black. I mean, if I was Charlemagne the God, I would have literally shut the conversation down right then and there. I would have shut the interview down right then and there when he made that racist remark. But I guess Charlemagne has a spine sometimes, and other times he doesn't. I just know if I was in Charlemagne's shoes, I would have shut that interview down right then and there. Like, what the hell did you just say to me? You know. So yeah, for all y'all out there saying that the media is harder on Biden than Trump, you're a bold faced liar. You're that is complete horseshit. You are a freaking liar. You're lying. You know? And no, the media is not gonna go soft and go easy on Biden. When Biden starts doing a good job, then we start going easy on him. But he's done a terrible job. He's done the worst job in my lifetime of any president. Of any president in my lifetime, Biden has done the worst job. America is more divided than ever than it has been in my lifetime. Right now, it's more divided than ever. And that's because this radical left bullshit and this far right bullshit. None of y'all can just meet in the middle. None of y'all. This is the thing. All y'all politicians on the far right and the far left, y'all got y'all's mind made up that there's nothing nobody can do to convince you to change your minds. Well, that's not how you have a grown up, rational conversation. If you're not willing to come to a meeting of the minds, then there would never be no agreement on the far left and the far right. And they're just so far out there, both of them. They're loonies. They're Looney Tunes. They're loony bins, man. They should all be put in a straitjacket because they don't live in the real world. They don't understand how reality works. You know, and let me get into this next thing, man. And both of these topics are basically double standards. These are the double standard topics I'm talking about today, which media saying Biden, or people saying Biden gets more negative media attention than Trump. That's complete horseshit. This Jussie Smollett trial is another double standard. Because, when Jussie Smollett came out and lied, bold-faced lied, like the people saying that the media is worse on Biden than Trump, bold-faced lied and said, two white dudes jumped out of the bushes and screamed, "This is MAGA country." All I learned from this is Jussie Smollett tried to paint a narrative that's not even there. That like white people are just out here hunting black people every day. That we're just sitting there like White people just sitting there thinking about what black person can I get next to. You know what most white people are thinking about? Getting up, going to work, paying their bills, and taking care of their responsibilities. And the ones that aren't, they're just dishonest human beings. But most white people aren't sitting there thinking about how can I get me a black person today? How can I get, what can I do? Most people, that's not even crossing their mind. Most people are just trying to live their lives, white, black, Hispanic, or whatever. This idea that the majority of white people are just getting up every day and we're just like, hell yeah, let me think about how I can, you know, do something bad to a black person today. That's horseshit. That's horseshit. First of all, let's take me into account. I don't even have white friends. All my friends are black. They're African American. And most of them pretty much agree with my take on racism in America. That this idea that all white people are just the devil and they're just racist and they're just out to get black people is far from the truth. It's far from the truth. Most of us just trying to live our lives. The ones that got kids and wives, they're just trying to pay the bills and take care of the responsibility. My white friend Austin Babb, who I grew up with, he was more of like the party kid growing up. But when I look at him now, he's great father, great husband, just enjoying life, loving life, taking care of his wife, taking care of his kid, just goes to work, takes care of responsibility, pays the bills, and just trying to enjoy life. He isn't thinking about what black person can I get today. This shit is never it's never even crossed his mind. You know? And there's plenty white friends that I grew up with. That's never even crossed, man. I grew up in a neighborhood that was half white and half black, and our whole crew was two white dudes and a bunch of black dudes. Two white dudes hanging out with nothing but black dudes all day, every day. That's all we did. All chill out, drink, smoke, have fun, play basketball, whatever, man. We wasn't thinking about what black person can we get today. And that's all this shows to me is that Jussie Smollett, whatever his name is, who the hell gives a hell what his name is? Because you can't believe a word this guy says. He's a bold-faced liar. He's the most dishonest person. He's the most dishonest celebrity. I'm one of the most dishonest celebrities on the planet right now. Fuck that. Fuck celebrity. He's one of the most dishonest people on this planet right now. Like what he did goes to show you that this narrative he tried to paint is so far from the truth. First of all, he got jumped by black dudes. So it's kind of hard for a black guy to get jumped by two black guys and to scream racism and white supremacy. Because that's what they were screaming at the beginning of this trial. You had all these people on the far left like, oh my God, this is a tragedy. I can't believe this happened. This is terrible. This is awful. You know why you can't believe it happened? Because it didn't. That's why you can't believe it didn't happen. Because it didn't. It didn't happen. That's why. That's why you can't believe it. Because it didn't. It was poor shit, bullshit. It was all lies. And this is the thing that's such a double standard. When the left was sitting there, thought this was true, just taking it and running with it because it's he say, she say. And, you know, in a court of law, he say, she say doesn't get you nowhere. Where's the other witness? Is there your word versus two people? Well, that's two versus one. And now we got something to go on. But when it's one person's word versus another person's word, that's he say, she say. Before there was DNA and all these things in, you know, the world of crime investigation, everything was based off of he say, she say, and eyewitness testimony. You know, so nowadays we go off of more than just he say, she say, and or at least you're supposed to. You're supposed to. So yeah, Jussie Smollett tried to paint this false narrative that all first of not just all white people are racist, all Trump supporters are racist, that they're just out to get black people every day, that we're just plotting to jump them, you know, and like anybody's gonna recognize Jussie Smollett at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning walking down the street of Chicago. Like I wouldn't even think that Jussie Smollett, whatever the hell his name is, Juicy, as Dave Chappelle said, Juicy Smollett. I wouldn't even think Juicy Smollett. I wouldn't even be believing that he'd be walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago in the first place. That already just sounds so untrue. It sounds like horse shit. Then Chicago MAGA country. That's horse shit. Chicago is gang bang central country. Um, Two white dudes just waiting in the bushes at 3 o'clock in the morning for the first black gay guy to come by. What's the odds of that? What's the odds of that? In any state, in any city, the odds of that is slim to none. Slim to none. I mean, you probably literally have to wait in there for weeks. And how the hell you gonna know he's gay anyways? Unless you just happen to know, okay, we know Juicy Smollett is gay because of Empire. But if it was a random person, there's no way in hell you would have known they were gay. Stop it. Yeah, so, the left was like, you know, lock these white dudes up and throw away the key when they thought it was real. Now it's bullshit. They were like, oh, well, Juicy shouldn't get in trouble. He shouldn't be in trouble for this. Why not? This shit just pushes back race relations in America even further. This makes matters even worse. Because now, what if this really does happen? What if some two white dudes decide to really do this just cause? Oh, you know what? There's like, you know what? Jussie Smollett tried to fake this and act like. What if they really just try to do it? And then now it's gonna be hard for us to believe somebody when they say this kind of thing happened. And just, I can't think of the last time I heard that just two white dudes was waiting on the bush to attack some black dude. Just attack some black dude and beat him up and whatnot. And pour bleach on him and put a noose around his neck. In Chicago, of all places, yeah, Alabama in the 1950s, Mississippi, in the 50s. But Chicago in 2000, oh, my bad, 2019, stop it. Nothing about what he said makes any freaking sense. Two white dudes waiting in the bushes at 3 o'clock in the morning to jump a gay black guy. They luckily just come across Jussie Smollett. He happens to be going to Subway. What Subway? Ain't no Subways open at 2 o'clock in the morning over here, I'll tell you that much. They happen to yell MAGA country, wear MAGA hats. They happen to put a noose around his neck, bleach. So they got a noose of bleach. They're hiding in the bushes. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. That'd be the dumbest freaking white dudes on the planet. First of all, they gotta be the dumbest freaking white dudes on the planet to do to be waiting 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning in the bushes for anybody. First of all, there's a lot warmer times to do dumb, like racist, hateful shit like that. And it happened though. That's the whole thing. So it's such a double standard. Now they want he shouldn't get in trouble. He should just get a slap on the wrist. He didn't do nothing wrong. Bullshit. You want to lock somebody up and throw away the key when you thought they did a hate crime. And now you find out somebody faked a hate crime. No, nothing should happen to him. Oh, he did nothing wrong. Bullshit. This doesn't go well for race relations in America. Because you painted this false narrative that all white people are like this, all Donald Trump supporters are like this. How are they supposed to feel? How are they supposed to feel? How are Donald Trump voters supposed to feel about this false narrative that Jussie Smollett tried to paint? Are they supposed to be happy about this? Hell to the no. They should be pissed off, angry that somebody did this, did this bullshit just to try to paint this lie that all Trump voters or supporters are racist. That's another lie. Just like the media is not worse on Biden, Jussie Smollett did not get attacked by two white dudes. I mean, when is the last time that has even happened? Two white dudes waiting in the freaking bushes 2 o'clock in the morning with a noose and bleach. I don't know that has ever freaking happened. I don't know that has ever even happened. You know, I don't even know it's even ever happened. And then I was watching the Hodges twins earlier. Hodges twins made a great point earlier. You know, because I bought a friend of mine um an item off of there that he thought was funny. I thought was kind of funny. So I bought an item. And it's a black friend of mine. Um, and I sent him the gift. And, but I watched the video and they said it was a great point. Like, what country in the world is better for black men to live in? Is Africa better? No, it's not. Africa's got more poverty than a motherfucker. Is China better? Hell no. Australia? Hell no. Europe? Hell no. Russia? Hell no. South America? Hell no. Stop it, man. America's the #1 country for a black man to live in. Stop it. America has more black millionaires than any country on the planet. All these rappers making all this damn money. You show me all these African rappers that are making as much money as these American rappers, and I show you a bold-faced liar. I mean, I'm sorry, America. If a black man is trying to come up financially in society, in life, America is the #1 country on the planet for that. So how could we be the most racist and the worst when we're the #1 country? I don't see Americans rushing to leave rushing to cross the borders to go to Mexico. I don't see that happening. I don't see Americans rushing to leave to go to Russia, China. They're not leaving by the thousands and thousands to go live in another country. No, because what are they doing? They're just trying to make America. They're just trying to change America or make America better. But all due respect, America is the best country on the earth when it comes to freedoms and opportunities. Because if you go to all these other countries, you don't have freedoms, you don't have opportunities. You know, in China, you're gonna pretty much be what they tell you to be. You could be. You can't just be some, you know, billionaire in China just because you want to be. You know, where else can somebody go from Marcy's to as rich as Jay-Z? America, man. The only way it's happening in Africa is blood diamonds. You know, so yeah, man. I know these far leftists act like America is you know the worst country on the planet, the most racist country on the planet. You know, Part of America was at one point. But America, this idea that all of America was racist, I believe one half of America sacrificed about 100,000 lives, white American lives, to fight for to end the slavery. You know, I mean, like that's the thing. Abraham Lincoln is not even good enough for the far left. The guy who did everything in his power and everything that wasn't in his power to end slavery is not good enough for the far left. Nothing will ever be good enough for them. Nothing. It'll never be good enough for them. There's nothing anybody can do to change anything in America that will ever be good enough for the far left if Abraham Lincoln is not good enough. If freaking if Ulysses S. Grant is not good enough for the far left, then nobody is. They'll never be happy. If the guys that gave their lives and spilled their blood, like how much blood was spilled during the Civil War? I could tell you far more white people died in the Civil War than blacks. Far more white people died in the Civil War than blacks. But it's nothing. It means nothing, apparently. It means nothing of the blood that was spilled and the sacrifice that was made to end slavery. That'll never be good enough for the far left. So nothing will never be good enough. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I live in a gray area. I'm in the middle. I'm not agreeing with the far right or the far left, but I don't agree with nothing on the left right now because they don't live in reality. And if Abraham Lincoln is not good enough for the left, then nothing will ever be good enough. If Ulysses S. Grant is not good enough, then nothing would ever be good enough. If the fact that so many white Americans, young boys, young boys died to end slavery is not good enough, nothing ever will be. It doesn't matter what happened. They'll never be satisfied. They'll still keep pushing the needle and still say, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. Because, I mean, once I seen that the far left is trying to ban Abraham Lincoln and stuff like that, we've gone a little too far now. We've gone a little too far. Abraham Lincoln, I mean, come on, man. I mean, stop it. It'll never be enough. So yeah, double standard day. That's basically what it is. Double standard day. Jussie Smollett trial and Biden media coverage talking about he's getting it worse than Trump. That's such horseshit. Such lies. And that's the number one problem with the media now. Nobody can trust the media because there's too many lies. There was at one point, man, the media used to actually go off of actual sources. Now they just go off of lies. The media is just broadcasting their opinions. That's not what the news ain't supposed to be broadcasting opinions. The news is supposed to broadcast facts, truth, evidence, sources, credible sources, not non-credible sources. And like CNN, like how can you even believe anybody on CNN right now? You got Don Lemon lying to the public saying, well, I don't report opinion. I report point of view. It's the same thing, jackass. You just told a lie. It's the same thing. Then you got Cuomo. No telling what lies he spewed to cover up for his brother. And all due respect, if my sister does some criminal activities, does some illegal, I'm not using my platform to defend her. I don't defend criminals no matter what. That's hip-hop world. That's the leftists. That's the left in the hip-hop world talking about free murderers free somebody who just committed an armed robbery, or just free somebody who just shot somebody. Yeah, that's hip hop and the left, the far left. I don't sit there and advocate for freeing criminals. The only time I'm gonna say free somebody is if they got locked up when for a crime they didn't commit, or y'all when they committed self defense and y'all trying to lock them up for a murder or something. They got, if it was self defense, it's self defense. Nobody who committed self defense should be locked up. Laws of man and laws of nature both agree with that. And nobody should get locked up for a crime they didn't commit. You know. But this idea like free criminals, he killed somebody and you talking about free him. You wearing a t-shirt talking about free him. You're pathetic. You're a disgrace of a human being. You're a scumbag. When you talking about free criminals. If they committed a blatant crime, a felony, no, we don't free criminals. If you're not and if you're not stealing food, or if you're not stealing to get money to buy food, then you're just a scumbag. That's the only time, man. Like, stealing food is acceptable. Because if you're stealing food, then I'm going to think you're hungry. And according to the laws of nature, that's acceptable. Laws of man, it might not be acceptable, but screw what the laws of man say. When you're stealing food, okay, you're stealing because you're hungry. But when you're just stealing anything else and just for money, you're a scumbag. You're a disgrace of human beings. You're pathetic. You can't be around me because you're a dishonest human being. That's all you are. You're a scumbag. Like, if you're gonna steal from the grocery store, steal food. If you're not stealing food, then I just gotta say you're a scumbag. You can't give me no valid excuse, to say why you're stealing. When a drug dealer says, I'm selling drugs so I can eat, okay. You steal from the grocery store, I'm pretty thinking it's the same thing. But you go rob Gucci, Louis Vuitton, I know you ain't doing it so you can eat. Stop it. You're just a scumbag. You're a pathetic human being, But, yeah, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, and more. Because apparently y'all don't got a lot of common sense. Sitting there talking about the media is harder on Biden than Trump. That y'all ain't got no common sense if you're saying that. And, all y'all people saying that Jussie Smollett should get off for what he did, y'all ain't got no common sense either. Because what he did, I mean, it's just such a double standard, such hypocrisy. And it just really made race relations even worse. It really did. Because you try to paint this false narrative that's not even, it's far from the truth. It's so far, America's so far from the truth of what Jussie Smollett tried to paint, man. It's nowhere near that. It's bullshit. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is episode 84. And we're going to try to get down pack every week with our little pause power picks. This is my first week with the popping up the image with the pause power picks. And I actually had to get on Google and Google how to do it because apparently they got where I can share a video and I could share like what was this other thing? Slides. I could share a video or a slide. Well, I couldn't share an image on neither one of those, so I had to Google it. Basically, I got to open the image up, and then I got to share my screen with that image screen. You know what I'm saying? And then that pop up. But yeah, so we're gonna do a week to weeks Paul Power picks. We'll try to get it down packed. This is my first week, so bear with me. First week of doing Paul's Power Picks, bear with me. I will get it down packed. I will get it mastered. The more I do it, I'll get quicker at it and whatnot. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Also sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. And for Shizzle, I got to shout out Dizzle, dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future. Just add ice, Dizzle on ice, do your Dizzle. Dizzlebrand.com. Check them out. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and more. And don't forget the audio version of my podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and much more. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm your host, Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast. Yours truly, Paul Pickett, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Thank you for tuning in. For those on TikTok, hit the follow. I'll follow back, and usually after the TikTok live, my live feed, I basically will follow anybody that was watching that I won't follow on. So that's how that goes. Peace, and I'm out.